Alright, this is my final project for Art History 22/7/10/40 with Professor Andrew Kosarok. I'm Mark Kim, and today I'll be going over tomb art from around the world. Now, what I mean by this is that I'm going to be tracking the tomb art across 6 specific eras and regions, starting in Sumeria and Mesopotamia, and ending in Gothic Spain. And for the purpose of this project, tomb art will be defined as any piece of art intended for use in any structure meant to house the dead. Let's see, we got a map here, starting here, Mesopotamia, then to Egypt, and then to the Etruscans, and then Rome, the Roman Empire, see Carolingian France, and then Gothic Spain. I didn't have a circle on Spain, because originally I was going to do Gothic France instead of Gothic Spain. But on with the show. Let's see, first stop will be at Sumeria. See, for the sake of brevity, I've chosen to focus on find specific works from each period and area, and just focus on those instead of going over an exhaustive list. Right here we have the standard of and the foundation figure of King Ur-Nama. Now, a general trend I've observed looking through Sumerian tomb art, is that most tomb art is art that's put in tombs rather than specifically made for tombs. Now, as you can see, the standard of was found in a tomb. It was considered, most archaeologists believe it was used as a battle standard carried around, and it was put in the tomb as sort of tribute. Anyways, Egyptian tombs is next up. Let's see, the works I've chosen for here are the Tomb of Sobekotep, Hunefer's Book of the Dead, and the Rishi Coffin. Now, some trends I've observed in this period are that tomb art in Egypt is functional and meant specifically for tombs. Now, not every piece of artwork the Egyptians made was meant for a crypt, but the majority of artwork in Egypt was functional. Let's see, and if an Egyptian was buried with something, it was generally meant to help them in the afterlife. For example, the Book of the Dead is a bunch of texts of spells and rituals meant to help the soul of the person in the afterlife. See, going back here, I'm not entirely sure what this page is specifically. I believe that's Anubis, the Egyptian god of the dead. And if an object's buried with them, generally carried mythological purposes, even the coffins. See, the Egyptians believed that for a person to best get into the afterlife, they had to be as well preserved as possible. So mummification was part of that, and the coffins were an extra layer of preservation on them. See, moving on to the Etruscans over in Italy, the key works I've chosen here are the Tomb of the Triclinium and the Tomb of the Lionesses. Now, the second thing to notice here is that tomb art in the Etruscans is a bit more celebratory, I'd say, in nature. It's less instructional and more celebrating the life that was lived by that person. Let's see, right here we got, some sort of scene. Not sure what I'm making out of. It's definitely people doing something, possibly a party. And the Tomb of the Lionesses has a bunch of figures lounging around. See, and also something that's different from Egypt is that there's not a lot of text in the tombs. Now, of course, it's not really a direct, really fair comparison to make, since, Egyptians were quite a long distance away from the Etruscans, both distance and time, but it's just an observation I've noticed jumped from the Egyptians to the Etruscans. Let's see, now moving on to the Roman Empire, let's see, we have the marble sarcophagus featuring the myths of Selene and Endymion, and the funerary relief of Publius Licinius Philonicus on the left, and Publius Licinius Demetrius on the right. Let's see, there's a little Latin script down there that tells you who's who. Let's see, something I noticed here is that this is where we get a more accurate portraiture to like sort of immortalize the person that was buried. I believe like Philonicus and Demetrius were actually freedmen instead of like aristocrats or whatever Romans called them. And see, in tomb art has, from what I've been able to piece together, tomb art has transferred from being on the tombs themselves and to the objects placed in them. See, jumping over several hundred years to Carolingian France, we have a relief from Dagobert's tomb and a picture of a sarcophagus for Clovis II and Charles Mantel. Let's see, and something I noticed here is that this is like several hundred years of Christianity, and we're seeing like we now have, especially on the relief from Dagobert's tomb, generally Christian symbolism. The source I had for Dagobert's tomb relief was that it was a story of a saint, I believe. And another thing I'm generally noticing is that most of the art I've been able to find has been in the tombs of people like royalty or important people. Let's see, jumping over again to Gothic Spain, I've chosen the tomb of Don Juan de Padilla and the sarcophagus of King Pedro III. Now, I try to notice here that Christian iconography has pretty much entered into full force by now. Let's see, the relief here has the Virgin Mary the relief here has the Virgin Mary. I thought it was this woman right here, but no, it appears to be her holding the dead Christ. And the sarcophagus actually has the apostles on it, but images of apostles and saints. So yeah, it was really interesting to like track tomb art across the periods. I was originally gonna just do art in general from those eras, and then I just pivoted over to tombs to like make it more specific, and because it just caught my interest. So yeah, sources for this should be in a PDF file, either attached to the assignment page or to the reply in the discussion post. And that's that for this semester. Been real wonderful hanging out with you guys, and hope you all do well.